Hello there, welcome. Teacher Thais here. Today, I want to talk to you about the simple past. Here are two examples of affirmative sentences in the simple past. I worked last weekend. So worked is a verb in the past. She went to the seaside last Sunday and spent a few days there. Notice that when we talk about simple past, we need to indicate when the action happened. In the first sentence, last weekend. In the second sentence, last Sunday. Let's talk about negative sentences. In the negative, we're going to use the auxiliary verb didn't. When we use the auxiliary verb didn't, we do not change the verb. So we don't say, for example, we didn't stopped. We're going to say we didn't stop. So we didn't stop at the traffic light and hit another car last night. He didn't eat lunch yesterday. So I don't say he didn't eat lunch. I say he didn't eat lunch yesterday. Questions. For example, did you come home late last Sunday? Did is the auxiliary verb for questions in the past. And the verb come, again, same case as in the negative sentence. We do not say, did you came? We're going to say, did you come? So the verb is back at the base form. Another example, what did we do last weekend? And here's a very interesting example. The first did, in this case, is the auxiliary verb. And the second verb, do, in this case, is the main verb. Similar to what happens in the present when we say, for example, what do you do? The first do is the auxiliary verb, and the second one is the main verb. In the past, the same will happen. So did, the first one, is the auxiliary verb, and the second verb is the main verb. Now let's talk about verbs in the past. There are two types of verbs in the past. The first one is regular verbs. We're just going to add ed at the end of the verb. For example, work, worked, call, called, stay, stayed. Verbs can also be irregular, and then there are no specific rules. You really need to learn them by heart. I want to start talking about the three types of pronunciation of verbs in the past when they're regular verbs. The first type is when we're talking about verbs that end with a voiceless sound. Examples of voiceless sounds are P, K, S, CH, SH, F, X. What is a voiceless sound? It is a sound that when I produce, I do not vibrate my vocal cords. So notice how when you say P, this sound does not produce any vibration here. Ch, sh. All right, we're going to compare them with the voice sounds in a moment. Example of verbs as voiceless sound, we're going to have help, book, fix, approach. What happens when we have a voiceless sound verb is we're going to pronounce a T sound at the end of the verb in the past. So we're going to say helped, helped. Notice that we don't pronounce the E sound here. It's not helped. It is helped. Same will happen for book. That becomes booked. booked. So we don't say booked, we say booked. Fixed, fixed. Approached, approached. If you want, go ahead, pause the video and practice the pronunciation. Next, we're going to have the voiced sounds. L, V, M, N, R, B, G, W, Y, Z, and vowel sounds. In this case, we're going to have a last sound as a D sound with no extra syllable. Let's look at some practical examples. Arrive is a V sound. Travel, L sound. Close is a Z sound. Agree is a vowel sound. So what happens here is arrived, arrived. Again, notice that we don't say arrived. We're going to say arrived. Traveled. Closed. Agreed. No extra syllable. You can ask me, how important is it? Do I need to memorize voiceless sounds and voice sounds? No, not necessarily. Because the important thing here is that you don't pronounce the E sound. If you don't pronounce this sound, it's almost like intuitive, whether it's a T or a D sound. So, for example, when you say helped, did I say it with a T or a D? It's not the most important thing. The most important thing, especially for us Brazilians, is to not pronounce the E sound. I'm going to repeat those sounds again so that you can listen and practice. Helped. Booked. Fixed. Approached. Arrived. Traveled. Closed. Agreed. The third and last sound for regular verbs in the past is for verbs ending in D or DE, T or TE. In this case, and this is the only case, we are going to pronounce id sound. So we do have an extra vowel sound here. Let me give you some practical examples. Visit ends in T. Accept ends in T. Attend ends in D. Decide ends in DE. In the past, we're going to pronounce. In American English is visited. Visited. You can also say visited. It's no problem, okay? American English, visited. The second sound is accepted. Accepted. Attended. Attended. And the last one, decided. Decided. All right, so we've got all of this covered, and now you understand all of the sounds in the past for regular verbs in English. Now, let's do some practice. I'm going to say these words, and you're going to tell me whether I'm talking about a sound 1, a sound 2, or a sound 3. Let's get started. The first word is attended. Attended. Is it sound 1, 2, or 3? Attended. The correct answer is 3. Verb ending in D, we're going to add an id sound, attended. Second word, traveled, traveled. 1, 2, or 3. If you said number 2, you're correct. Traveled. Next verb, worked, worked. 1, 2, or 3. Number 1, well done. Next one, launched. What do you hear? Launched. Do you hear a T, a D, or id sound? T sound. Well done. Next one, agreed. Agreed. Number 2, well done. Next one, decided. Decided. Number 3, started. Again, I'm using American pronunciation. You can also say started. Started. Number 3. Next one is called. Called. If you said number 2, you are correct. Next sound, American pronunciation, visited. Visited. Column 3. Listen to this one carefully. Finished. Finished. Column 1. Well done. How about informed? Informed. And the last sound, briefed. Briefed. Easy or difficult? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next class where I'll talk about irregular verbs. Have a good one.